Come on, come on. Hello, everybody. How's it going? This is Marcos Villegas. This is the Fight Up TV live chat. Welcome one, welcome all. Like I mentioned, I am here being joined with Yair, J. Martinez. Today is May 17th of 2021. Had some good action that happened over the weekend. We're going to discuss Brandon Figueroa beating Luis Nery via knockout. What lies in the future for the young Brandon Figueroa in terms of a unification fight, another one with Stephen Fulton. Going to talk a little bit about the Undisputed fight that's going to happen this weekend, a fight that I feel should be getting a lot more attention, a lot more praise, because we don't get Undisputed fights. And Jose Ramirez versus
Josh Taylor.
Yes, Senior Josh Taylor.
From Scotland.
It's a shame. It's just they're not. Taylor's not, just not known over here in the U.S. Ramirez has a bit of a lower profile with the boxing fandom at this point. But obviously, if he wins, that's going to change. And of course, we're going to talk a little bit about the heavyweight picture with the recent news that the Undisputed fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury may or may not happen due to the arbitration case that went in favor of Deontay Wilder. But there's some interesting tidbits there. It's looking that really the ball is in Deontay Wilder's court at this point as to how he wants to proceed with the fight. But before we do this, guys, before we get into it, do me a huge favor. Like, comment, say what's up to us so we can go ahead and get to your guys' questions, your guys' comments, anything you guys want to go ahead and talk about as well. And share the stream. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you're a first-time viewer over here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media at FightUpTV. And then, we'll get right to it. Let me make sure that our little, what's up, Mello? Man, I'm still learning how to use this damn thing out here. There it is. There's our names. There we go. Oh my God. I'm terrible. And I'm tired. I just ran 5.5 miles.
Did you run with a sauna?
Look at this. There's soda coffee? It tastes weird. It's like soda with coffee. It's really strange. It's like it's not bad actually, because this is vanilla. It's like vanilla Coke with like a hint of coffee. It tasted weird at first, but it's actually not too bad. Okay. Here we go. Over the weekend, Brandon Figueroa, Luis Nery. When I saw these guys, Yair and everybody, I was telling everybody that this has potential to be fight of the year just because of their styles. These guys just come forward. They both wing freaking punches. Nery's a big puncher. And looking at them at the weigh-in, my first thought was, geez, Brandon's freaking big compared to Luis Nery. But I felt Brandon's there to be hit, man. He stays in the pocket way too long, and he absorbs a lot of punches.
Like his brother.
And we'll see if Nery really didn't bring his power up to this weight division, because Brandon's there to be hit. Fight happened. Because of the weigh-in, I felt that maybe Brandon, I felt maybe 55-45. I felt Brandon's a lot bigger, and maybe he'll outwork him, ends up getting a very close win. He ended up stopping Luis Nery. Gilbert says he knew Brandon was going to win. Why'd you know? Because I didn't even think that. I thought it was going to be a very back and forth fight, which I think it was at the beginning, and then Brandon started to take over because of his size, because of his activity. And Nery kind of looked like he gassed out a little bit. Art, what's up, Foo? What up, Foo? What's up, bro? But what'd you think about overall about how the fight turned out? And everybody in the comment section too, let us know how you guys felt that fight played out. We're gonna touch on the weekend's fight. We're gonna touch on the Undisputed fight, and then we're gonna touch on the heavyweights. But go ahead, Yair.
Marcos, did you not see? I don't know if everybody else saw that when the fight was going on. Did you see that Brandon Figueroa was switching stance
Yeah. Him and his brother do that all the time.
Yeah. But like, I felt like he did a little bit more than his brother. He kept it more composed than his brother.
Hold on. Let me pause. Blaze, you are a moron. Okay, didn't you just hear me that we're gonna touch on it? The whole title of the thing is for us to talk about it, but there is other fights that are happening that we need to touch on. Hello, anyone there? Hello. God,
I can hear you.
Man, some of these guys, man. All right, continue.
So what really stood out for me was just how Brandon Figueroa, I don't know if you can notice, I'm sure you noticed that he was switching stands back and forth. And that was kind of like throwing off the game for Luis Neri, because he was going to Southpaw Orthodox and he wouldn't stay in Southpaw the entire time. He would go back to Orthodox. So he kept Neri thinking. But the entire round, all up to when he got stopped, it was just a slugfest. He said, dude, one of them is just going to gas out and is going to get tired. But remember, we talked about it the night before. I said, hey, I'm picking Brandon Figueroa just because he looks like he's the bigger guy and he can absorb those punches. There was in the second or third round when he landed some straight hooks to Luis Neri that he backed him up to the rope. So you could tell that his strength was just going to be the big key factor for this fight. And that punch that he got him right in the hook, man, those are always the tricky ones. Like you see the picture when his veins were popping out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just it was a very good fight. It was one of those fights that we needed. It was a potential fight of the year. But I mean, I liked how Brandon Figueroa stepped into he looked a little bit more composed than his brother. I don't know if you can agree with me on that.
Well, obviously he's I don't know, like I still think that style Omar's more polished, but I think because Brandon's been more dedicated that he looks like he's actually the more polished one. And he probably is too, because Omar's been kind of like up and down with how his performance have been. Caleb says, one of the best fights I witnessed this year. Were you there at the stadium? I don't know where Marcus is at. Marcus was there. I wanted to get his thoughts on how it was.
It was sad that it was not even packed either. It didn't even look like it was packed at all. It was not even like no fans at all, but it was a good slugfest. It was a very good slugfest. They were even talking about that Luis Neri was just maybe too small for that weight class anymore.
Dude, he looked tiny, dude. He looked super tiny.
Like, that weight class is not for him. I'm telling you, those punches, Figueroa just absorbed them like nothing. Like he just absorbed them, walked right through them. I'm sure Brandon Figueroa's sparring partners were bigger weight class than him, because that's what you do. I'm sure when amateur fights, your coach always puts you bigger guys so you can absorb the punches in your weight class. None of those punches really bothered Brandon Figueroa. So I'm thinking Luis Neri is just. And even talking about him, he was talking about interviews that possibly this is like the end of his career. He's done. Like
really? He said that?
Yeah, like this is it. Like he said, there's more to.
Bro, how old is freaking Luis Neri? He's not that old.
He's not that old, but there was reports saying that right after this fight, there's finest. You can't deny that. Yeah, he was talking about he was probably done after this fight or the second. If he would have won this fight and go to Unify, that's it. He was done. He was just saying, if I do or don't, I'm done. So he could probably go back down. He could go lower to the weight class.
Neri's 35 says, I don't know how to say that, but says this person right here, 35. If he's 35, then yeah, that makes sense, because for at least for boxing, that it is a little bit older.
Yeah. What? No, he says it's 20. It's 26 here.
26. All right, you're wrong, bro. Neri's 26. Yeah, I don't know why you're. This guy said 35. Yeah, he's only 26.
He said that, and he said that this was his first camp that he's never had any problems. That he was at 100%. He did better in his last fights than this fight. So I don't know what's going on. But
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I heard about that too. That Neri went to the hospital as well. I wasn't there at the fight. Marcus was there. Trying to get a hold of Marcus right now to get him on here to see what he heard on the ground over there. But yeah, I had heard that Neri did go to the hospital. So if any of you guys do know any details about that, let us know. But I would have a suspicion that it might be due to the grueling pace of that fight, because they went at each other the whole entire time.
I'm sure he was pissing blood after this.
Eesh, yeah. It's crazy too. Brandon had said that his brother wasn't coughing blood, that he was coughing coffee, because he said he drank black coffee like before the fight. Callum, I managed to get tickets for Behind Ringside, so Callum is going to be our man on the ground that we asked. Callum. Yeah, Callum's going to be our Marcus. Callum, how was the atmosphere there? Was there any crowd fights that happened there? Let us know in the comments section. And of course, guys, we're going to go ahead and touch on the heavyweights right now. We're going to go. We're talking about this weekend's fight. Then we're going to talk about the Undisputed. And then we're going to go ahead and talk about the heavyweights.
I managed to get tickets from behind ringside.
Nice.
I was even looking at the pictures. One of my buddies, he was at the fight, and he wasn't even. It was not even. I couldn't even say it was 40% full. I'm surprised because.
Well, it was a small fight, dude.
Yeah.
It was going on the radar. Like Brandon doesn't have that big of a following yet. Neri doesn't have just about any following whatsoever here in the United States, at least. It was great. A few altercations in the crowd, but nothing too major. All right, I think the post-pandemic agitation is kind of wearing off. The foos aren't getting into the vatos aren't getting into fights as much.
But is that what you expected, Marcos?
Yeah, I knew they were going to go back and forth. There's no other way. Like Brandon doesn't. He fights one way, Neri fights one way too, So yeah, I expected that, but I felt my thing was, how was Brandon going to take Neri's punch? That was my big thing, because Neri is a big puncher at the lower weights. At this weight, we're starting to see that he's not as big of a puncher, but he did stun Brandon, I think, in the first round, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he stunned him, but it wasn't like a big stun. But I want to go back to something before I forget. Since it wasn't a large crowd and they didn't pull a lot, do you believe that maybe that fight could have probably taken place in Houston or San Antonio, knowing that Figueroa?
They probably should have done that fight in McAllen because Brandon headlined in McAllen already before, and he pulled a decent crowd there. So I think they probably should have done it over there. But it has to do with like the city and like the guidelines and all that.
Commission.
So yeah, that maybe could have been a problem for that. Brandon versus Stephen Fulton will be a good fight. That I think they didn't officially announce that, but that's supposed to be the next fight for both Brandon Figueroa and Stephen Fulton. We had a chance to talk to Stephen Fulton over the weekend. I love that guy, man. He's a great talker, very articulate, has a great personality, can freaking box. Obviously, he's the favorite in that fight just because of his skills against Brandon Figueroa. They're talking about maybe in September they're going to fight. I've been hearing a few people saying that they're fighting in September, so I think PBC might announce something official in September. I don't know. It could be. I'm thinking maybe it's something that's on the undercard of the Canelo versus Caleb Plant if they go ahead and get that fight done in official, because you got to think, why would PBC put on a fight on September? Well, let's see the calendar. They're saying it's September 11th, has to be on a Saturday, but when is September 16th? No, that's the week before then. Yeah, nope. Bummer. I was hoping maybe if they would have put that, but no, I guess that's going to be its own.
I love Stephen, how he talked about when you asked him, do you believe, not saying perfect, I'm not asking the question how you kind of put it out there, but when you said, do you believe Billy Joe Saunders kind of quit? And he said yes and no. He kind of did quit, but not really, because I love how he explained that very thoroughly. That was a very good explanation, when you talk to him. So yeah, like the way he was just speaking and just talking about, his orbital, how he broke the result of Canelo versus Saunders. Yeah, I enjoyed that interview very much, especially when he said,
yeah, man, Fulton, he looks like he has the goods to be a very popular fighter, because he has a great personality. He talks, he's funny, has a lot of energy, and the cat's slick, man. He's a slick freaking boxer, dude. He got the skills, so
that's gonna be a problem.
He has a lot of upside, man. A lot of upside. He's gonna end up being gonna have a very big following, I think, if he goes and he keeps winning, especially if he goes and he becomes undisputed. There's still a few guys that he would have to fight, but I think any of those guys, I'd want to see them up against Inoue. Even though they're a weight division above Inoue, and Inoue might end up having the same problem as Neri, as he might be too small for these guys. But we'll go ahead and see, man. Fulton is the fighter who beat Angelo Leo in a take and give fight. Yeah, that's true, man. But you got to think if Fulton is going to choose to go ahead and fight that type of fight with Brandon, or if he's going to choose to go ahead and make it easy for him as well. Everyone, do me a big favor, like the chat, share. We're going to transition now over to the Undisputed fight that happens this weekend, and then we're going to go and touch on the heavyweights. This weekend, May 22nd, Undisputed fight at 140 pounds. Jose Ramirez versus Josh Taylor. Let us know, guys, in the comments, who are you favoring in the fight and why. We'll go ahead and display your comments as to why you think either or fighter will win. I think this fight, Josh Taylor should be the favorite in this fight because he can box. I think he's a more versatile boxer when he chooses to box. The thing is, in that pro Grace fight, because the last fight that he had against the Thai fighter, that's funny, Thai fighter. The last fight that he had against the Thai fighter, it was 1 round, so you can't really take anything away from that performance. You got to base it on the other performance that he had against Regis Prograis. And with Regis Prograis, he fought Regis Prograis on the inside. He mixed it up with them. And if he chooses to mix it up with Jose Ramirez, I think that fight favors Jose. That's a fight where if he does that, Jose could potentially win that fight because I think Jose would be a little bit more active on the inside. I think he's a very decent puncher. I don't know if he's as big of a puncher as Regis. I could be wrong, maybe because Jose's bigger. He's a bigger puncher than Jose Ramirez. But also as well, I think that that fight favors him. I think Josh Taylor really can make this fight really easy for himself if he just chooses to box on the outside.
I don't know if you watched the Blood, Sweat, and Tears by Top Rank. It's an episode already out, and they were talking about this is going to be the first time that in that division is going to be 2 Olympians that are going to be fighting for history. For Scotland, if I'm not, or Scotland, right? That's where Josh Taylor is from, just Scotland.
Yeah, Scotland.
Jose Ramirez he's going to be the first Mexican American for the Undisputed. So it's going to be a very good fight. And 2 Olympians, that's what just what catches more my attention, because they're not just going to go in there and just scrap it up. There's going to be more like of a chess game, a chess match. Who's going to get to the punch first? Who's going to be setting up the combinations? It's going to be a very good fight. And one thing that I loved about Robert Garcia said in the Blood, Sweat, and Tears, he said, Jose might not be the stylish, might not be the strongest, might not be the fastest, might not be the prettiest, but he has heart. And, you have to have all this, but Jose Ramirez has heart. He will not go down in a fight. I don't think we ever seen Jose Ramirez go down in a fight, or he's already back down. But it's hard to favor one. I personally have more Jose Ramirez. One time I spoke with Virgil, and I told him, how does Jose Ramirez hit? He's like, he explained to me like Mikey Garcia's punch, Jose Ramirez punch, Josecito's punch, and he told me that Jose Ramirez does have a good pop in his hand. He has a very good pop. Where Mikey Garcia, when he punches you, it's just like it stings you, it hurts. But Jose Ramirez has that pop where you're like, damn it hurts. It's like you're hitting a brick wall. You felt those before, so it's going to be a good fight. If like you said, if Josh Taylor fights in the inside, that's going to be Jose Ramirez all day. If Josh Taylor fights from the outside, keeping that range, establishing his distance, then that's going to be an easier fight for him. And that's what kind of trouble sometimes Jose Ramirez. I'm excited for this fight, man. I'm excited. Like I was telling you right before we started, it's gonna be mayhem. It's gonna be crazy. The fans, and like I said, those tickets sold out in less than 30 minutes.
Well, I don't know. Do you think it'll be a knockout drag 'em type fight? I think it can be that in spurts, but I think that Taylor is gonna try to be smart in there, because I think that Jose has to bring the fight to Josh. He has to come forward. He has to rough him up, and he has to fight him like either against the ropes or on the inside. Because I don't think, I could be wrong, but I think it's a more conducive fight to Taylor with his style for him to fight Jose on the mid and long range distance. I think his big advantage, Jose, in this fight is to fight him on the inside.
Callum Cancel said, Marcos, you going to the fight?
Yes, yeah. I'll be there. Say what's up, Callum.
Yeah.
I'll be there at the fight.
Yeah, so
go ahead and let in Marcus here on the chat.
What happened, Brody?
What up? What's good, mate?
What's
Yo,
How are
who
you?
who wins? Ramirez or Taylor?
Woo! That's a tough fight, man. I think that you have Ramirez, who is a guy who he just seems to get it done. He seems to get it done. He's there to be hit, to be honest. I feel like he's there to be hit. I feel like Josh Taylor has showed maybe a little more just pure boxing skills throughout his career. But, as far as grit goes, I mean, man, this is going to be a great fight. This truly is a 50-50 fight, man. I think Ramirez Taylor will live up to the hype. I don't know if it'll be fight of the year. It's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, it's a great fight. It's a great fight because we're like this. We're like back and forth. We really don't know like who's gonna win. Like we could think like
Man,
maybe Taylor is a little bit more versatile than Ramirez, but I don't know. I don't know if I could be mistaken, but Jose is not no slouch in terms of like international experience either. He was an Olympian. He represented the United States in the Olympic Games.
Absolutely.
So it's there. The amateur pedigree is there, but so far Taylor's shown that he has the ability to be able to outbox someone. But I think too, he has shown propensities to be baited into a firefight, and I think that he can't do that against a Ramirez because I think Ramirez can outfight him.
Ryan Mann said, "Where's the fight taking place? Mexico or Vegas?"
It's in Vegas. It's in Vegas. It's in Vegas.
Vegas, yeah, it's in Vegas.
It's in Vegas.
And did you see that now the Vegas is lifting all the mandates of the face mask?
Yeah, great. Yeah,
It's coming.
That's
It's
gonna be fun.
It's time.
So
it's time for all of us to get Corona again.
Hey, you didn't get it.
It ain't happening, mate.
You didn't get it when you were here, and you saw.
Yeah, no, I know. Hey, people got sick, bro. People got sick. People got sick. Yeah. That's all I can. I'll tell you guys offline, but people got sick.
Brutal.
But we didn't.
Yeah, because we got freaking 5G. That's why. all juiced up on Bill Gates nano machines. That's why.
Guns,
That's why. Freaking 5G infused nano machines. Hit me up for your Wi-Fi needs too. I gotcha.
Let me turn it on.
Yo, I do want to go ahead and touch back on the Neary fight. Marcus was there covering for us. Hey, Marcus, people on the chat here mentioned that Luis Neary went to the hospital. I know you sent me a video of him going in the ambulance, but did you hear as to why he was getting sent to the hospital?
You know what? They were pretty hush about what was going on. He left in a pretty hurry, bro. They kind of rushed him out of there. I was just thinking that maybe it was just because it was just protocol. I was hoping it was protocol. I know that one of his team was like speaking to him in Spanish. And my Spanish, I'm from SoCal, so I hablo a little Espanol. You know what I'm saying? And it seemed like he was kind of encouraging him, like you're all right, bro. Like you're all right. He was hitting the window of the ambulance. Mm-hmm. He was like the last person to leave. So, it was a hell of a moment, man. It was touchy because everybody just kind of rushed out of the way, boom, and they just shot through. But I was impressed, man, because at the beginning of the broadcast, I'll say this, before everything started, look, man, these guys were practicing with the gurney, dog. They were practicing getting the gurney in and out of the ring space, man. They had it perfectly done. Shout out to the folks from PBC, man. I mean, they really, they prepared for the contingency, and it came up, unfortunately, and they were able to, they shot him up out of there, bro. PBC Showtime crew, pre-fight when no one was there, they were doing gurney drills.
Oh, well, they knew someone was going to get knocked the F out.
Yeah, no, man.
Something was going to happen,
fights, bro.
Yeah. Did the homies tussle it up in the stands? Did you see any?
No fighting, man. It was all love, dog. It was no all crowd love, fights? Man. No fighting, no arguments, man, no screaming. You know, it was just pure. I think all the adrenaline might have ran out, bro. Because
Damn.
and you know what else? David Benavidez was working the crowd like a politician, bro. Like just keeping it a buck too. Like just the way that he was going around, dude. He took probably 85 pictures, man, with every person it seemed like in the crowd. He was hugging people, and it wasn't fake, dog. Like you can tell that the dude is a real cat.
Marcus, you got some fans here. I don't know if you want to address any of these comments here.
I don't see them.
Some people are giving you a little bit of slack on the interview you did. I didn't think he did anything wrong, to be honest.
What happened?
Heard that Marcus
Some of these
3-piece from Dave Benavidez for that Charlo statement.
Nah.
Oh,
you guys are reading. You guys are reading way too much into some of these.
Oh
things,
yeah,
man.
absolutely, dog. You know what I'm saying? And the thing was, man, is that me and David talked. I guarantee you this: David would come right back on the show if we called him, bro. David is a definite friend. You know, yeah. Have you ever had a little argument with your friend? You know what I'm saying? The dude,
Exactly.
we see him all the time. It's our job to talk it out. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he did give me a little bit of spice, but it is
Man,
what it is.
hold on, you guys are reading way too much into that, dude. I saw the clip, bro. You know, like
I haven't seen it yet. What happened?
there's it's not even
He
like
was like-
super worth to like talk about. Like he, you know, like there's been worse told to people. Like that wasn't even that.
Well, what happened? I want to know
I'm
now. I
happy
haven't
that you guys are watching it, bro. Hey, watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it. Watch it. Cause check it. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, man. He's one of the best in the division, period. He is a firm number 2. He's a firm number 2 in the division who deserves a shot. So, man, all shout out to David and Jose Benavidez, bro. Jose will be around with us too. Like, it's all to the good, homie. No question.
All right. So you saw, you know, I'm glad you're here now. You saw the fight in person. It obviously was a great fight, but based on what you saw with Brandon, do you think he can have that same type of fight with Stephen Fulton? Because we saw with Angelo Leo. Angelo Leo did give Stephen Fulton a little bit of problems when he chose to go tick for tack with him on the inside. I doubt if Fulton chooses to fight that way against Brandon, because it's a lot harder fight.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
You know what, man? I feel like, number one, I don't think that the fight between Fulton and Figueroa would resemble the fight between Figueroa and Nery at all. I think that it's a little bit of gamesmanship by Cool Boy Steph, saying that he's going to stand in the pocket and bang, 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 bang. I think he definitely thinks he sees opportunities. I think he will shoot it out at times, man. But to be honest with you, bro, like the way that Figueroa fights and his pressure, he comes over to guys like a wave, it seems like, bro. Like he stays there. And if you really don't have the power to make him back up, hey, he's all over you, man. He's another.
And it's not only the power, bro. I think really it's the conditioning. If you don't have the conditioning to be able to keep up with him,
Absolutely.
and it's funny that you say he's like a wave, because he'll end up drowning you. Yeah,
he's like
he'll
a wave, and then
yeah.
And then he's slick too, because he does little dirty things, like, and not dirty against the rules, but he does dirty little. He throws these little body shots, man, in between your punches. He's one of those guys that he throws counter body punches during your set. Man, he's a hard out. You saw it with Nery. You think you're open, you think you're ready to land, and if you watch the fight again, he was landing those type of body punches the whole fight. Boom, boom.
All right,
boom.
everybody. Marcus, Yair, put your hands up for Detroit. What up, Detroit? What up? Give Detroit a shout out. There you go.
What's good, Detroit?
Lions. You think to go to the Super Bowl this year?
I'm a casual football fan. You guys know more about football than I do.
Only if they get a ticket, mate.
But we just covered the Nery fight. Box Talk 101. Thank you for the super chat, everybody. Go ahead and support. with the super chat option. Give us a like and a follow on social media as well at Fight Up TV. Subscribe to the channel if this is your first time joining us over here for the Fight Up TV live chat. We're here every Monday at 5:35. I apologize though, we were a little bit late today. I had a late gym session. Box Talk 101, what's up, brother? I think Angelo Leo is actually the number 2 in the division. And once Fulton cleans house, it will be apparent that Leo gave him the best fight. Your thoughts? You guys want to go and tackle this?
You know what, man? Listen, that 122 division, man, it's so hard to know who number 1 and number 2 is right now. I mean, I think the number 2 guy is the guy who loses at when it's time for all the belts. Angelo Leo's already lost. He's already one of the guys that lost. He's probably in line to fight somebody like maybe Danny Roman, even though Roman is actually in line to fight the winner of this fight. So he's the number 1 in the WBC now with that win. You know, bro, just it's hard to say, man. If you go back and look at the broadcast, look at the Roman and Espinosa fight. That was an unbelievable fight, and those guys were banging, man. That was an unbelievable matchup. And the way that Roman made the adjustments and started firing up the uppercuts up the middle really opened the fight up and actually won it for him. 122 is too close to call, bro.
Yeah, there's no clear evidence that we can say one is one better than the other. That's all I have to say. That's more of a I love what you said, Marcus. It's no evidence of who can we say who's the clear being on top of the water of that one. So I don't know.
Look at the division.
Yeah.
I challenge you guys to look back at the division, bro. Look at 122 and look at how many undefeated guys are at 122 right now. It's unreal. It's like over 5 people that are sitting at 122 at the top 10, and they're all undefeated or one-loss people. Like, there literally is no – like, if you look at it, you've got Ray Vargas, 34-0. You've got MJ, who's 8-0.
Oh, dude, everyone's forgetting about that guy, MJ, which I think MJ could potentially be just as talented as Fulton, bro. Like, if not more, because of what he accomplished in the amateurs. I think a lot of people are sleeping on MJ because he doesn't speak English. You know, he's not from here. You know, he fights on DAZN, but that guy could easily be like the number 1 in that division too.
It's another great division in boxing, bro. Those who have said that boxing is dead.
Who said that?
You know, those other fans.
What up, Soldier? Thank you. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, share it with your boxing bros. Before we touch on the heavyweights, I just want to touch on a random thing. I saw, did you guys see Mortal Kombat? You guys here on the chat, did you guys see the new Mortal Kombat movie?
Saw when it came out.
I saw it over the weekend. Did you see it, Marcus?
Mm-hmm.
You saw the new Mortal Kombat?
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. Let me get into this. So I didn't want to watch the new Mortal Kombat because the original Mortal Kombat, which I saw as a teenager back in when did it come out? Like 1996?
You're talking about the second one?
No, the original Mortal Kombat, not freaking Mortal Kombat Annihilation. That movie was garbage. That was like a B movie. Oh my God. But that original Mortal Kombat had such a high gold standard for me. Like I just knew. Even before this movie, I saw the first trailer when they announced it. I just knew, like, there's no way this new movie gets even close to being as good as the original Mortal Kombat. So that's why I didn't want to watch this remake Mortal Kombat. Like, the trailers looked cool. So yesterday, Sunday, I made a bomb halibut. I sit down, I put on Mortal Kombat, and I'm like, all right, let's watch this. Instantly disappointed within the first 10 seconds. Want to know why? No goddamn techno music bumping like the original. That's why. And from there, I knew this is not going to be like the original movie. Not going to be like the original movie. No, not once did they play the Mortal Kombat techno music up until like the end. Freaking Kano was like a good guy, like halfway through the movie. No Johnny Cage, even though they teased him. It was okay. Like, it was good, but it wasn't great. I don't know. Am I tripping or what? You guys in the comments, let us know if you like the new Mortal Kombat movie. I'm just bringing it up because I was such a huge freaking Mortal Kombat fan growing up. In that movie, even now, dude, during my workouts, there's certain songs I play to get me my second win during my workout. And the freaking Mortal Kombat techno song is still one of those songs that gets me freaking pumped up. That like gives me the extra push, man. Like,
are you walking around in the gym looking tough? Like,
no, dog, no. But like when I'm running and like no, definitely not. But when I'm running and I feel tired, I'll put that music along with like Darude Sandstorm, and like I'll get energy again. I'll be like, okay, keep going. Let's get to some of your comments. Also, as well, on the new Mortal Kombat movie, before we touch on the heavyweights. But I just had to bring it up, dude. I had to bring it up because the other thing that pissed me off, Liu Kang is like the biggest wussy. Liu Kang is like the main character of freaking Mortal Kombat, and they made this Cole guy like the new hero. I don't understand that. Like, what, they got to freaking do Liu Kang dirty like that? Liu Kang is Mortal Kombat. Liu Kang is the main character, main hero of Mortal Kombat. And they got this weird Cole guy that has like Aquaman freaking armor. Like, I didn't even get a super. What's a superpower? It's just armored. That's all it is. A lot of things that I was just scratching my head.
Whack when you describing it, bro. You making it sound super whack. I'm like, did we see the same movie?
Yeah, I know.
Because I thought it was
like
decent.
I said, no, not like I said. It's good, but not great.
I thought that it tried to stay along with the normal, like with the newest game too. You know what I mean? So I thought that it tried to stay current, like, you know what I'm saying? They had the girl with the mouth, Melina, I think her name was.
Yeah.
You know, it was cool, bro.
I like it. I enjoyed it, every single part of it. I loved it.
Sub-Zero was cool. Yeah.
I thought it was funny when that one guy said, Kanye was, he said, what about you, Fortune Cookie? What's going to be my superpower?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was funny. It was a good movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
It was good too, bro.
I thought
it was nowhere near how awesome the first one was.
I thought it was
nowhere near.
It was better.
The first one was hilarious. It was fun. It had a great story. Liu Kang wasn't some little wussy that had no confidence whatsoever. Liu Kang looked like a vegan. He looked all pale, like he hadn't eaten in like freaking a month and a half. Like, and you know what? Shang Tsung was kind of weird in that movie too. Look at that. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, but he says it was okay. Pueblo King just clicked and they trashing Mortal Kombat. It's full of action, but storyline is soft. Thank you. Gilbert says the movie was good. Yes, let's talk Mortal Kombat before that, dog. Yes, because I was a huge Mortal Kombat fan growing up. That's why. Godzilla proved he was the alpha king of the monsters. You guys saw King Kong vs. Godzilla?
Oh, that was a good movie. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I like the fighting scenes, but the story was kind of loosey-goosey. MK was trash, bro. I don't know. I'll probably watch the second one because they teased Johnny Cage, but how do you have no Johnny Cage in a Mortal Kombat movie, and then you do some washed up MMA retired fighter is like the main character, and he has Aquaman armor.
Damn.
Hey, I'm just, you know, it is what it is. The techno music. I liked it, but I didn't like it because, you know, I loved Liu Kang. Liu Kang was my favorite character in Mortal Kombat. Liu Kang and Johnny Cage were my two favorite characters in Mortal Kombat. Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat, the crossover we need. Yeah, I don't think that'll happen, dude.
No.
Okay. How big is the universe? It's infinitely big. And I bet you anything you didn't expect me to answer this. It's infinitely big, the universe. The universe is in a constant rate of expansion because of what happened during the Big Bang, where the universe went from a tiny, infinitely small speck into a vastly inflated, hyperinflated universe that keeps on going and going, and there's no limit into the universe. Like we're limited as human beings to see how big the universe is. And you guys are like, what the hell is Marcos talking about? I'm really into this sort of stuff. I watch a lot of stuff about the universe and why things are and why things are created. And I learned a new thing. Yeah, Neil deGrasse Marcos. But the universe is in a constant state of expansion. And we're limited to see how quick the universe is expanding because it's expanding faster than the speed of light, and we're kind of stuck with what we see. We're only able to see what, obviously what goes at the speed of light. The speed of light is like 265,000 miles per second, I believe. So what we're seeing is, stuff from like 17 million years ago, but the universe is going to keep expanding and expanding and expanding. It's an infinite universe. I don't think there's no end to it. But what they say, how the universe ends is it's going to be either a big crunch or a deep freeze. And it's funny. I'm just going into this. Okay, you dragging it. Nah, bro, I like this stuff. It's going to end either two ways. The stars are going to go all out. There's going to be no more heat, and the universe is just going to go all dark once more. Or it's going to go crunch back into the infinite point once more and then expand out. I think nature is cyclical. I think that there's been many universes. They fizzled out, all crunch back, and then they expand again like a breathing, living energy. So, that's my take. But
that's crazy, bro. So check this out.
Yeah, what's up?
Go
ahead.
Here's what I think about the universe, right? Yeah. There's one thing that we know right now about the universe.
It's infinite.
We know that this universe simply is not big enough for Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder to be at the top of the heavyweight division. Something's got to give.
There you go. He's segueing into it. Give. All right, we're going to touch on the heavyweight.
Isn't big enough.
Unless you believe in the parallel worlds theory, the multiple worlds theory, which theoretically that is possible. And I think I have this weird theory. The reason why we get deja vu is our doppelganger or our like the parallel universe kind of seeking into to us. So, when we get deja vu, it's actually ourselves in our parallel universe experiencing something. But yeah, I'm going off of a freaking tangent here. Okay, let's talk about the heavyweights. A lot of stuff happening earlier today. Tyson Fury yesterday announcing where's the real Marcos at? The universe has 12 laws. Let that sink in, peeps. What are those 12 laws? Marcos, you definitely do edibles. No, bro, I actually never done edibles before. To be honest, never done edibles, bro. Never. For reals.
Marcos is off them edibles, homie. Them little joints, huh?
I'm not even a pothead. I've only done weed like 4 times in my life, man. I think a lot. I think a lot about these things. It's interesting to me. Yeah, it's dude. Freaking government pretty much admitted that there's aliens. Like, that's a crazy ass thing. Also, as well, like they just did an interview on 60 Minutes. One of these, they worked for the State Department, saying like, yeah, there's freaking UAPs. I don't know what the full name of it is, but they're like, yeah, there's aircraft out there in the sky that we don't know what the hell they are. They're not ours. We don't know what the hell they are. And I'm just like, what more do you need? Like, what more evidence do you need? It's like they're pretty much like telling us like little by little, like, hey, yeah, there's stuff out there that we don't know about. But yeah, another tangent. Whatever. No, I'm not on these snowflakes, Gilbert. These guys. You guys are probably like, Marcos is all over the place. Yes, I'm a man. I'm a man of many, many interests. I'm just not all boxing. The law of action. And yes, I know there's a law of attraction too. Spaceships flying 13 knots. Yeah, from going like that. Like, I know I've read all about it. It's just, dude, it's reptilian. I'm not a reptilian. But before, okay, I'm just gonna leave it with this. All right, before we get on to the heavyweights, humans are the aliens, Marcos. No, bro. Here's my theory. You guys are gonna think I'm freaking nuts, okay? But I think the aliens. I believe in aliens. I believe that there's life in this universe. There's no way, seeing how many stars there are in the universe. Okay, there's billions and billions of stars.
Yeah.
I want to say billions of galaxies that are like ours. There's no freaking way that we're the only ones. Okay, there's no way. It's actually, I think probability wise, it's even more ridiculous to think we're the only ones, as opposed to the universe is teeming with life. Now, why haven't we been contacted? Why haven't we seen, other life? There's a lot of explanations for that. One, the universe is infinitely big, and it could be, because of that, it's very, very rare to have, civilization and civilization intercommunication. The other thing is they're already here. They've been observing us, and they think we're the dumbest species that ever lived in the history of the world because of all the dumb stuff we do to ourselves and our planets, that they don't really want to do anything with us. And they're just observing us, and and they're like, yeah, look at these stupid humans. They're fighting over the dumbest things. Like, let them, squabble over the most mundane, dumbest things ever. And let's just kind of watch and get a kick out of it. The other thing is maybe a theory called the Great Filter. And the Great Filter is that every civilization has a rise and a fall, and they get to an endpoint where they can't go past that point of no return, where that civilization ends up killing itself. It's a very interesting video that you should watch on YouTube. Just type in the Great Filter, and it's also known as the Fermi paradox. It'll blow your mind. It's very interesting. Okay, I regress with that.
Hey, there's a quote that says there's two things.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I was getting to the point. Okay, sorry about that. I kind of went on a tangent with that. But the point is, I think aliens created us. You guys think you probably think I'm crazy, but I think aliens, you guys are going to laugh. I think aliens sent the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, okay, to give rise to us. And I really, really do think that we're like half aliens. I think aliens made us. So yeah, you guys probably all think I'm crazy. Look at Yair. He's giving this look. Bro, you ever wonder why a fetus looks like an alien? You ever wonder that? A fetus looks exactly like a freaking alien.
When is the last time you saw an alien?
What do you mean, bro? There's photos of aliens all over the place.
I don't think that those are real photos.
Marcus, we're gonna have to have
when there's smoke, there's fire, dog. Right? So
where there's smoke, there's something. Where there's smoke, there's something, homie.
Bro, but how do you get all these people describing an alien in just about the same freaking way?
I mean, I can dig it. I'm not asking for no aliens to come get me. I'm just saying I have never seen an alien.
Well, no, because they would do the little Men in Black thing to you, and you wouldn't be able to remember the experience.
Men in Black. Speaking of the man that in black, Deontay Wilder was wearing all black.
All right, we're gonna get to the heavyweight. We're gonna get to the heavyweight. All right, okay, hold on. All right. Back to boxing.
Crazy looking suit on.
All right, here we go. Okay, so yesterday Tyson Fury announced the fight was gonna happen with him and Tyson Fury, him and Anthony Joshua on the 14th of August. Everybody was all excited. I'll be honest, I was hesitant because Fury did something like this similar. I think the beginning of last year, where they said like, oh yeah, him and Kinahan made the deal, and I'm like, it's not. And just from my experience with the Mayweather Pacquiao stuff, it's not official until you get a freaking email from the company, from Top Rank, from all involved. So-and-so versus so-and-so official, da-da-da-da-da. That's how you know it's official, when you get an email from them. So, with that, I was just like, yeah, well, I haven't got an email from any of the companies yet, so I don't know. Today, I believe a journalist, I forget his name.
Mike Coppinger.
No, Mike Coppinger did not break it. It was another journalist.
He actually tweeted it. He actually tweeted who's the main one that brought that out. So I'll find it right now. Hold on.
Yeah. But he had said that Deontay Wilder won his arbitration case against Tyson Fury. So what does that all mean in terms of the undisputed fight and the heavyweight? Chris McKenna. Good work, Chris McKenna. So what does this all mean? It means a few things. And Mark Kriegel wrote but Mark Kriegel found a little tidbit there that I thought was interesting. there is an option of an extension. So what can that mean for all of this situation? So obviously, if there's an option for an extension, that means that the undisputed fight could be allowed to be made, but the winner has to go and fight Deontay Wilder for a substantial amount, and a substantial amount for having him wait for that fight. That's one route. There's a lot of routes for it to go. But first off, obviously, let's be real with this. You sign a contract, you're bound to that contract. Tyson Fury contractually is bound to give Deontay Wilder another fight because that was the deal. He signed to fight him for the rematch with another fight. That other fight was supposed to be a Fox pay-per-view fight. And Fox was banking on that pay-per-view. COVID happened. They tried to make the fight, but because of COVID, it complicated a lot of things. And then, all the stuff that came out, whether you believe them or not, from Wilder's side with the fight as to why he lost. And that rubbed Tyson Fury the wrong way, rightfully so. I think anybody in that position it would. And, we got to the situation that we're at now. But, dude, you sign a contract. Wilder's in the right to fight for this fight, whether you like it or not, whether you want to see a undisputed fight. He's in the right to ask for something that's in a freaking contract. Contract's a legally binding agreement. They made an agreement. He has to go and fight him. So, you can't, I understand, us as boxing fans, of course we want to see an undisputed fight over anything. It's an undisputed fight, especially the heavyweights, but when you look at it and you put yourself in that person's position, if you were the person, and if you signed a contract for an agreement, then you don't get what you want. Obviously, you're going to fight to get what you want. That's anything in life. You're going to fight to get what you want. And that's what he's doing. He's fighting to get what he feels should be his. And actually, he has a legal right. He signed a contract. Now, do people want to see a third Wilder versus Fury fight as compared to a Joshua versus Fury fight? I don't think so. I think people want to see the Joshua Fury fight because they haven't seen Joshua and Fury fight. They've been wanting to see Joshua and Fury fight for a very, very long time, and it's an undisputed fight. We haven't had an undisputed champion since Lennox Lewis back in the 90s. So what happens from here? A few things. One, we get Wilder versus Fury 3, and then the winner goes into an undisputed fight with Anthony Joshua. Two, Deontay Wilder, they worked something out. And I think if you were thinking of it as like a business person, like if I was in that situation, it would be either two things. And obviously I'm not in that situation, not him. So this is all speculation. But you would think, the two options are, you got to think, because they have a massive amount of money already pretty much set out for them from the Saudis for the fight to happen with Fury and Joshua. You got to think they want to save that fight. They don't want all that money going away. So they're going to offer something to Wilder, be like, yo, dude, just hold off a little bit. Here's a fat sack of change. Just let us have this fight. Let us make this money, and we'll give you the next shot. I actually think that might favor Wilder a bit because it gives him more time to train, more time to get the rust off, and more time to get used to the training style of Malik Scott. There's more time with them, but it's also what's up?
He's looking pretty good.
Yeah, he is. That's one option that could happen. The other is he goes, nah, hell nah. I want that fight because I can win that fight. Let's get it on. And he goes and he fights Fury again, and whatever happens, ends up happening. And then you run into a situation. Well, what's going to happen with Anthony Joshua in terms of defending the unified titles, the rest of the titles? Probably will go into a fight with Alexander Usyk. And I commented to you guys, imagine if this happens. Imagine Joshua fights Usyk and he loses. Wilder fights Fury and Wilder wins, and we get like a Wilder versus Usyk undisputed fight. That'd be so crazy. That'd be so crazy if that happened. But yeah, I think that's where we're at this point with that. A lot of things can happen, but they can legally block, I think, the fight, the Wilder versus the Fury versus Joshua fight, because obviously, he has a legal and binding contract with that. Go ahead, Yair.
Marcos, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Did they not know about this? Like Fury, Joshua's people, did they not know?
So what happened was, because they didn't make a fight during a certain amount of time, they had said that the deadline was over to make that fight, so it annulled the contract according to them. But I think because of COVID, it wouldn't make fiscal sense to put on a fight, which is very, very true. A fight like that, it's tricky, okay? Because the first Wilder versus Fury fight did okay on pay-per-view. The second one did all right as well. And if you're the broadcasters, you want to be able to sell it in order to pump up the pay-per-view sales. And without a live crowd, without like live press events and stuff like that, it makes it a little bit difficult to sell something like that. I actually think it would have done well, because we were in lockdown and there was nothing else to do, and people would have watched, and given the bad blood between Wilder and Tyson Fury. Henry Martinez, what's up, bro? Do you think Fury will stop Wilder in a third fight? Should Deontay Wilder fight Andy Ruiz? How would a Wilder-Ruiz fight go? Thanks for that, Henry. Do I think Fury will stop Wilder in the third fight? I think he has a big advantage mentally because of what he was able to do in the second fight. But I'm still weary of people counting out Deontay, because that's like North Korea. Okay, you take North Korea serious because they have nuclear weapons. Even though it's North Korea, you take them serious because they have nuclear weapons. Freaking Deontay Wilder got like a freaking thermonuclear weapon in both his hands, so like at any moment he could end up stopping you in any fight against anybody. So he's still a viable threat in the heavyweight division. Now, if mentally Fury has an edge over Wilder because he was able to impose himself, able to walk Wilder down and beat him, it's different. It's different approach. Wilder's not coming into the fight anymore as this undefeated, untouchable fighter because Fury has that win over him. Should Deontay Wilder fight Andy Ruiz? It was looking like that was the path they were headed to in terms of building up the fight. But because of this, I don't know. I know Andy asked for either that fight or a Luis Ortiz fight. How would a Wilder Ruiz fight go? I don't know. I think Wilder can win the fight, and I think also if Andy fights the right fight, he can win the fight. It all depends who fights the right plan in that fight. We saw Areola touching up Andy, and it's like, dude, if Wilder touched up Andy the same way, he would have went down and probably would have stayed down, But if Andy is able to go side to side, dodge a lot of those Wilder punches and really press Wilder, we've seen that if you back Wilder up, he can't sit on his punches and throw those bombs, and there's a path to victory there for Andy Ruiz. So thank you for that, Henry. Marcus, I see you shaking your head and grinning and all that. What's up, bro?
To be honest with you, bro, like I hear what you're saying. I heard the thought in your mind that Ruiz will be able to back Wilder up against the ropes.
I'm saying if he's able to. The
thing about that fight is weird, right? It depends on Ruiz. Number one would have to be in the best shape of his whole life, and I tell you why. Because he's going to have to move forward literally the whole fight. What Ruiz has kind of shown lately, bro, is that he can stand out in the middle and fall asleep for a second or three. You can't do that versus Wilder. And he did it time and time again versus Areola, who is a much slower puncher than Wilder is, bro. I think Ruiz definitely would go down maybe more than twice. Look, Areola dropped Ruiz with a grazing right hand. I think Wilder by KO. I know a lot of people in the chat don't like Wilder, I can see. But, man, look, I think Ruiz gets KO by Wilder.
I know, you could be right, dude. You could be right. Like if he can't take those punches flush, no one can in the heavyweight division, Danny Staggs, I like that name, Danny Staggs. Always thought this whole thing was a ploy to push the fight so they could have it with fans. The second fight did a massive gate. No way they wanted to lose out. No, very true. You know, a lot of money on the line. You know, gate revenue is big money. That's where these promoters end up making a lot of their money is from the gate. Let's see here. Bottom line is Tyson Fury landed a shot square on the button and the equilibrium was gone. Same thing happened to AJ. Either fight is hard to call. That's why they fight the fights, my man. That's why they fight the fights. Let's see here. Let's get to some of your questions. Nah, Ruiz was able to get up after those big shots against AJ. Yeah, come on, bro.
Look, man, AJ and Wilder's power ain't the same either.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on, dog. Like,
he ain't getting up after you get hit flush by Wilder like that, like he was getting hit flush. If he ate that same shot from Wilder that he did from my guy. Now, I'm not taking away. The guy has heart. Ruiz has a huge heart. You can tell. But, man, look, it only going to go so far, bro. Wilder's blessed, too.
Right now. I don't think Ruiz jumping into a fight with Wilder would be just smart right away because we know.
No, he wouldn't.
No, because we know that once you get switched trainer, it takes up at least 3 fights to see the momentum going between the chemistry of the fighter and the trainer. So I don't think we'll see it right now. But
what do you think about Wilder versus Charles Martin for a tune-up?
That'll be a good fight. That'll be a very good fight. I mean, I think Wilder just needs a tune-up. That's what he needs to bring up more of that
okay, so here's the risk you run with the tune-up, okay? And because it's heavyweight, you don't know what's going to happen to heavyweight because these guys have all the heavyweights can punch, okay? Anybody can beat anybody in any given day. So this is the risk you run with the tune-up. That the tune-up ends up beating your guy, and then what happens? That ruins the massive payday for the next fight, and all subsequent other plans for fights. Yep. So why risk that? Like just go into the fight and just let them fight. That I think that's a risk there that you run with that.
And you'll find out pretty quickly here what direction the Wilder camp wants to go. If the Wilder camp goes directly into the fight and says, yeah, we want to go ahead and make it by September 15th, it shows you that, one, Wilder's been absent, but Wilder's been training. Two, that he's more confident than people think that he is. I think, and if he doesn't go directly into the fight, he's probably not as far along as that video that they tried to show us. I thought that there was some embellishment, to be honest, with the power on the right hand from the coach. It looks like he's building the fighter's confidence a little bit. I don't think they're exactly, based on that mid work, they don't look exactly ready to fight yet. Just my thought.
But he looks different the way he was on the mitts. Like, he looks way different. He looks like he's more agile.
Look at this. Danny brings up a good point of what I was talking about. Yeah. Look what almost happened with Volin, when Tyson fought to Volin, if that fight would have happened in New York, that fight would have been stopped, and it would have been Deontay Wilder versus Otto Wallin in that fight. So that's something that you risk in a tune-up fight. Because it's the heavyweight division. Crazy-ish can happen, man.
And as far as Wilder goes, yeah, I'm happy. He glanced on kind of a touching body shot to the body. He's got to develop some type of work to the body to be able to do something with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was walking him down, and I thought body work would have been the answer. He had no body work, and you're right, Yair. He did appear to have more balance.
Well, yeah, to clarify what Andrew Baxter said, pads don't hit back. Yeah, they don't hit back. But if you look at all the videos of Deontay Wilder, when he's been on the mitts, he stays right there, lands that right. You never see him slip and go to another side of the mitts. You hardly ever see him. He looked really good on his feet. But again, it's mitt work. But that's something we've never seen on Deontay Wilder. It's like what Marcos just said. He just stays right there. That when that right hand just – nuclear.
It's all he's doing.
So seeing those little parts right there, I was like, wow, man, he probably looks different because probably his coach told him, you just can't stand there. All these other fighters, they move. They 1-2 and move out. You got to do that. That's why Fury is so special because he doesn't stay there. Even looking at the highlights of the second one, you saw Fury coming to 1-2, step back and boom, come again with a 1-2. Fury didn't know what to expect. So maybe they're like, hey, you got to start moving, start moving differently a little bit more. Be more agile on your feet.
Will the fight be on DAZN or pay-per-view?
Which one?
I think he's maybe referring to Fury and Joshua if that fight does happen. I believe that would be a pay-per-view. DAZN does pay-per-views now. You can buy they have like a hybrid pay-per-view model, but Joshua is not he's a free agent in terms of network. So he doesn't have like a contract agreement with DAZN. So that
I
could
thought he
fight.
did.
No. He's a free agent. In the UK, he's with Sky though. So Mark Young, Marcos, what are your thoughts on Crawford facing Canelo? Huh? In a catchweight fight?
Never happened.
Yeah, bro, that's like 3 weight classes.
Never happened.
Yeah, I don't think that'll ever happen, bro.
What would be the catch weight? 162?
64?
Because
Canelo's a little too big.
Because Canelo said he can go down to 160, but he'll be pushing it.
I doubt Canelo can go back to 160.
I think he can go back to 160.
Yeah,
but he wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He's starting to fill out. The dude looks freaking solid now, man.
Yeah, he looked good, man.
Right? Like once you fight at a weight class, you don't want to go back down to 160. You know, once you're at 168 and you're comfortable, you don't want to cut that weight again, bro. Like
especially as you get older.
And he doesn't even look like he's struggling to make weight.
Yeah, he wants to keep it that way too. Let's see Andy versus AJ3. I'm up for that. I wouldn't mind actually that. Let's see. Now, Marcos, we could have got Wilder, AJ if Fury lost.
That's what I wanted to see, to be honest. I wanted to see AJ versus Wilder.
Yeah,
I wanted to see that.
Yeah.
Same thing as Canelo versus Spence. That's also was in the talks, right?
Yeah, but I think that's too far. Too far, I think. Yeah, Hector. Oh, what's up, Hector? What's up, bro? Yeah, that's the other thing. You know, I know Canelo said in an interview with me that he would drop down to 160 for the right fight, but I honestly don't see it. I don't see it. You know, like no fighter likes cutting weight, and regardless of, I understand like money is a huge incentive, and Canelo versus Spence would be a huge money fight, but I just don't see it, dude. Like he's filling out at 168. They're talking about him maybe fighting at 175 now. Like if he's able to be undisputed, why would you drop down? Yeah. You know, like that doesn't make any sense to me. You know, Yusuf, what's up, man? Thank you for the super chat. Let me see here. There he is. Let's say Fury drops the belt, which I didn't even think about that. I guess he could, but let's say Fury drops the belt. Wouldn't the AJ Fury fight still be for undisputed, unofficially? The winner would undoubtedly be the best, even without the belt. Technically, it wouldn't be undisputed because it's not for all the belts. But I get what you're saying. And I get the point. Yes, unofficially, it would be. Just like unofficially, Tyson Fury is the lineal heavyweight champion of the world. Like unofficially, Tyson Fury is the heavyweight champion of the world. And I'll tell you why, for some of you guys that are confused or have a short memory. Tyson Fury never lost his heavyweight titles. He's the man who beat the man who beat the man. He beat Vladimir Klitschko, who was the #1 heavyweight when he faced him as an underdog. Vladimir Klitschko had just about all the heavyweight titles, minus the WBC, because I believe Wilder had the WBC. But just because you have a belt doesn't make you #1, because I think, Marcus, you mentioned it last week. You mentioned, hey, look, Dave, a lot of people, or not last week, but you mentioned it before. A lot of people see David Benavidez as #1 at super middleweight, and he doesn't have a belt. So it's like, do belts really matter? Like, you know, it's a weird thing. Like, just because you have a belt doesn't make you #1, and vice versa, though, too, you know. But I think in the case of Fury, Klitschko was universally seen as the heavyweight champion of the world, #1 at heavyweight. Fury went and he beat him. Never lost the titles. Said he retired. He went through, you know, his drug problems. The Infinity Stones get broken up and sent all over the place. Wilder has the green Infinity Stone. Joshua fights Charles Martin for the red Infinity Stone. And then Joshua starts scooping up all the Infinity Stones. And that's what we get to what we're at. So, yeah, Joshua has more belts. He's seen as the unified champion because of the situation that happened. But if you really look at it, who's the guy that beat the man? It's Tyson Fury.
And that's great. And that's great. And I love that. And who's the man that beat the man and all that jazz, yada, 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 right? However, there are certain responsibilities that come with being a champion. There's a reason that they call you champ. There's a reason they call you champion. It's because you're a guy that defends the belt, right? So you win the belt and then you party and eat yourself out of the belt. You ain't no hero. Let's be honest. Like, I understand you can be going through whatever you're going through. Look back. You can say whatever you want about Mike Tyson. Look back at how long Mike Tyson was straight up using drugs and was still knocking fools out. Was partying and was doing everything.
But when he was doing all that, he never won his big fight. He never won his big fights when he was doing all that.
What do you mean he never won his big fights? He fought Spinks for Undisputed. He won.
He wasn't being all crazy.
No, but he wasn't. Marcos, for the time,
when he got out of jail,
were the big fights.
No. But when he got out of jail, that's when he really went crazy. When he really went wacko rockstar crazy.
Robin Gibbons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was using drugs before then, bro.
But not like how he was after. But not like how he was after.
Before then, he was dealing with anxiety.
But not to the extent of that. Not to the extent when he came out.
I won't give Tyson Fury that. Tyson Fury had the ball and he fumbled the ball and somebody else ended up with it. That's his fault. That's his problem. Now that he came back and he earned it, now it's his responsibility to do what champions do. I won't give him anything for free. You got a ton of champions in boxing that are going through things right now and that were going through things in the past. We won't make excuses for a guy that squandered his chance to be what he was supposed to be. He just won a big fight. Hey, we talk crap about Ruiz when Ruiz ate his way out of the title, right? We talked about Ruiz. It's the same thing with him. There's a responsibility with being the champion, period.
Duran says, if you forfeit your belt to avoid a mandatory, you are not undisputed. That would be bad precedent. In order to be undisputed, you got to be undisputed. You could also make the argument, though, like I was saying before, Marcus, is that if you look at it that way, too, like, look at the Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney situation. Okay, just because you have a belt doesn't mean you're number one. If you were to look at it like this, like, look, Teofimo was recognized as the number one lightweight in the world, regardless if that WBC belt is franchised or not. He was seen as he's the guy. He's number one. People saw him as the man. Okay. So it's still even confusing, but the franchise belt, whatever. Okay, Devin goes and fights his fight and he gets it, but he didn't beat the number one guy for it. The guy that, and I know, like, oh well, he vacated but still, Teofimo beat the number one guy. Regardless, he gets that title, he gets that distinguishment that he beat the number one guy. But that goes back to, okay, just because you have a belt doesn't mean necessarily you're the number one in the division as well, because like you mentioned on previous shows, David Benavidez, he doesn't have a belt. Well, a lot of people feel that he's the number one super middleweight in the world.
So what is it going to take for this to happen? What is this going to take to happen? Because I feel like Wilder, Fury, Joshua, I feel like, what is it going to take to this officially happen? Because
Wilder Fury 3 looks like it's next, whether you like it or not. And
I just, what?
There's too much going on behind the second fight, too, bro. There's too much going on behind the second fight.
I hope they all fight each other. That's how we end up winning. I hope they all end up fighting each other, and then we're all going to be happy because we're going to see, this fight, and then we're going to see whoever fights Joshua, and then the loser of that fight fights the loser of the other fight, and they all end up fighting each other. That's the best case scenario. That's the best case scenario for boxing. But let me say this. It does suck because we don't get undisputed fights that it's pushing away an undisputed fight. And I don't care like who it is. I'm just saying in general because they're so rare. Like undisputed fights are good for boxing because it clears up the muddled, smoky, foggy picture of the belts. You know,
Absolutely.
so anytime we get an undisputed fight, it's good for the sport because you have a
Absolutely.
clear-cut champion.
I agree
with that.
Now, but the reason that there's a need for Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder 3 was the first fight was good. We had obviously those knockdowns that could have tipped it over for Wilder. Some people thought that Fury fought back enough to win and not get a draw. The second fight, we've got a stoppage that people didn't like. We had the questionable look when you go back and watch the fight again, man.
Oh no. The stoppage wasn't questionable, bro. Like
just hear me, dog.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is that it was a weird. I've never seen boxing gloves that looked like Fury's gloves looked. Look at the fight again. I'm serious. I know that
YouTube videos,
crazy.
dog. You're watching too many YouTube videos.
I know that sounds crazy. Here's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
It's too many. There's excuses, and I'm going to help the Wilder haters as well. Wilder haters, this is for you too. Look at this. You're going to get a couple things in this fight here in the part 3. You're going to get everybody that said, hey, Wilder cheated or Wilder was cheated. Wilder's water was spiked. The gloves had no padding. He was landing shots with the wrist, you know, whatever he was hitting with his knuckles at the wrist, which made this bizarre indentation that Wilder showed was in his head, right? You either going to get redemption on that, right? Or you Wilder haters are going to get Wilder to get completely executed and vanquished. And he'll ride off into the sunset, I'm telling you. If he receives a true beating from your guy, Fury, I don't think that he'll be around anymore. I really don't.
Go ahead, Yari.
There was a video touching back on the gloves. There was a video.
Oh God, don't start with that. You guys know why I am with that. Like
he came out with his attire all the way covering his gloves. So that was something that kind of caught my. But no, I don't think he cheated with the gloves. No, there's no way. Too much commission, too much signing. No, there's no way he cheated.
Like. I don't even want to touch on that because I know that it sounds crazy. You go into a rabbit hole. You know that's why you go into a rabbit hole with it's just. And for those that work in boxing, if you ever been there, like after a weigh and you see that they take the gloves away, the commission takes the gloves, they check. Both fighters check the gloves. There's cornermen there. Like it's just I don't even want to get into it.
Now I see what you're saying. Now watch this.
I don't even want to entertain that shit.
Go back to the Ring City series a couple fights ago and look at O'Shaquie Foster's opponent. Look it up, folks. Look up O'Shaquie Foster's last opponent. Everlast gloves inside of the package that had the padding taken out and were taken away by the commission. These gloves were supposed to be used against O'Shaquie Foster. These gloves were tainted. These gloves, there was something wrong.
Where was this? Where was this?
It was in LA. It was in LA.
Where?
Look it up. Look at it was in LA at the Ring City boxing series at Freddie Roach's gym, bro. Look it up.
All right.
No bull.
So what was the thing there?
The gloves were tampered with. These gloves were supposed to be checked out. They were only found by O'Shaquie Foster's coach.
Which gloves were they?
They were Everlast boxing gloves, I believe.
But which Everlast were they?
Because there's the Promax and then there's the grip lock.
Yeah.
Whatever one they were.
If it's the Promax, those don't have a lot of padding. Their padding is different than the other ones because the padding is more done with the horsehair. If I'm not mistaken, right?
The glove was confiscated, broski.
That's the same thing happened
So here's the thing, dude. Yeah, Marcos Maidana against Floyd Mayweather. They made a big old stink about the Pro MX because the Pro MX are like the Cleito Reyes. They weigh 8 ounces. It's just the weight distribution is more here than here, but they weigh 8 ounces. Those gloves,
That's cool.
But they made a fit and they forced Maidana to go with the power lock gloves. Thing is, every glove is different, obviously. The Cleitos are thin right here. That's why they're known as the puncher glove.
Those are the ones that Pacquiao uses.
But what glove do you know that has a U in it? Have you seen a glove with a U in it? Like
look at the Cleito Reyes gloves, and you'll Watch.
Tyson, why weren't they boxing Hector Reyes gloves for the championship fight? Why was he using Paffin sports gloves that have been used
because the fighter can
times.
choose whatever glove they want to use. It's like
Those
why is that guy
weren't
use rival?
Approved, doggy. I'm just telling you.
What do you mean they're not properly approved? The commission approves those. You know, to be able to hold on, Marcus, you're watching too many YouTube videos.
Way too many.
So do you know for a fighter to be able to use a glove in a professional fight, that glove maker has to petition to the commission to approve that fight?
And they have to send in samples of the gloves that were not done.
Okay,
they didn't send the samples of those gloves in.
So any gloves, like Jorge Linares was using the Venom gloves. So I remember when I was talking to the Venom people, I think the fight against Lomachenko was the first time Venom used pro gloves. And the guy was telling me, like, dude, this is like months. Like, I had to send the fucking commission samples of the glove, yada, yada. They got to go ahead and approve.
Yeah, they had to go through the process.
So for him to use Paffin, it's not like oh my God, like, I don't know, like the commission did their due diligence. They looked at the gloves and they approved the gloves. Simple as that.
You think so?
Yeah. What do you mean? I think so.
That's how it goes.
I'm just saying.
That's how it goes.
I'm just saying.
There's no conspiracy here,
bro. There's controversy around the gloves, and then there's a controversial injury to a fighter that hasn't been seen. When have you seen a dude's head get dented? I'm just saying.
If they get punched enough in the head, their head's gonna get dented, bro. That's what happens when you punch someone in the head. He got hit
in the exact same spot that many times.
How do you think the knockdown happened? He hit him in the temple.
Which knockdown?
And then you're getting hit by a guy who's 276 pounds, bro. You don't think a guy who's 276 can hit?
I understand and I hear all of that. But what I'm saying is that there is too much controversy swirling around it not to give it a go again.
Well, let's make the third fight happen. Let's see the third one and see how it clears up. Let's just have this third one.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna. And
then we're gonna put you as commissioner. We're gonna put you as commissioner, Marcus.
They don't want me as commissioner, broski. I'm telling you now. I'm not accepting no bribes, no money.
For sure, aliens for sure. Aliens is like 110% for sure. And people are saying Fury has no power. Get out of here, bro.
He hadn't shown it ever before that fight, really.
No, hold on. That's simple physiology. You guys are ignoring simple physiology. You think a guy that weighs 275 pounds, when they really rotate all that weight, put all that weight into their shots, they're not going to have power? It doesn't matter how big of a puncher you are. You hit a guy in the right spot, they're going to go down. This here doesn't care how big you are. This only takes a certain amount of pounds per square inch to knock any person on earth down. You hit any person in the temple, they're going to get messed up, especially if it's a guy who's 275 pounds. It doesn't matter. If you hit a guy enough times in the head, they're going to get a dented up head. They're going to have lumps on their head. That's what happens.
Who else has he ever done that to? Who else has he ever lumped up and punished that way?
Well, wait, hold on, Yair. Hold on.
Who else?
Want to know why? Because he chose to press forward and fight differently than his other fights. When have you seen Fury fight that way?
So this was the perfect game plan.
When have you seen Fury fight the way he did in that second fight?
Never.
Exactly.
Never with that effect. I've seen him try to do that, but I haven't seen him have that effect before.
Yeah,
I've seen him try to knock guys out. I haven't seen him land knockout shots.
You've seen him try to be slick and cute and outbox people. You've never seen him try to step up and pressure someone and throw punches at somebody.
I'll give that he did fight somewhat of a different fight. And again,
he fought a completely different fight.
That's why we got to see it again.
Different fight. He fought a completely different fight.
You're going to see it again.
There was a comment that said that I'm enjoying the conversation. Let me tell you why. I'm sorry, Marcus. You speak so much truth, but just this one, I don't believe there's no glove controversy.
I understand.
And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm not going to tell you, I'm not trying to toot my horn here. And I'm going to tell you why. Mm-hmm. Here in Texas, being some of the events that I've been at, the commission, how they handle the gloves, there's no way that could have been just ignored. The gloves is such a big deal. The gloves come in, you get to see them, you put them on, you try them on, you sign them off. The other coach signs them off. They keep them. The commissioner keeps them, then brings them to the fighter.
Absolutely.
The fighter then sees them, puts them on. The commissioner signs it off. Make sure the tape is correctly, because you, back in the day, Tito Trinidad, you tape it all the way up here. So I don't know if you correct me if I'm wrong, Mark.
You can pull it down to get more.
So the tape can't be too high, and then they sign it. That glove, there's no way that you tape it and then you have your wrist coming down up here. There's no way. I'm sorry, Marcus. I'm sorry. There was no good controversy. I don't know. He just lost. Let's get the third one. Let's get it on. That's all I want to see now, because now you got me going, because I'm annoyed about this glove conspiracy stuff, you know?
That's why it's a reason to fight again, quite frankly.
So here's another thing. How can you dent a human head with 8-ounce gloves? Oh, my.
That's very common.
No.
And they're fighting in 12. They're not fighting in 8.
Hold on. No. 12, no, they're fighting in 10s. They're fighting in 10s. They're fighting in 10s.
Heavyweight 10s.
In 10s.
Heavyweight 10s.
Oh my God. Okay. You ever put on, whoever asked that question, you ever put on an 8-ounce glove? You'll be shocked how small an 8-ounce glove is on your fist. Okay. Even a 10-ounce glove, you'll be shocked, especially for a heavyweight, where these guys' fists are like 2 fists put together on a normal person. So for someone to ask, how can 10-ounce dent a head? Yeah, very easily. When you got a freaking close to 300-pound person pounding on someone's head, of course a freaking head's gonna get dented up. Jesus. Here we go. Yusuf brings up the perfect freaking point. Please stop with the conspiracies. I'm a Wilder fan. I would love nothing more than to see him knock Fury out, but he lost fair and square.
Thanks for the $10. He said, appreciate the $10 there, big guy. And you got a great haircut too. You know what, man? Look, it is what it is, bro. It's not just me.
Marcus, please mute Marcus.
I'm just saying, it's not just me that thinks that there was some controversy around the fight that needs to be cleared up. That's it,
bro. He just he fought a better game plan, bro. Like, that's styles make fights. The first fight, he fought very hesitant. He fought, very weary of Deontay's power, and he got cute and he got unfocused, and he got busted up and got knocked on his ass twice. And in this fight, he's like, you know what? Screw it. It's either I'm gonna get knocked out or I'm gonna knock him out. Like, I gotta press this guy, and he pressed him. It's when we've never seen Fury fight like that. Because he doesn't fight like that. That's not his style. But you got to look at basic physiology. Like, the guy's a 275-pound freaking guy. He's
been big his whole career. He had 14.
Henry Martinez said you missed his super chat. I thought we touched it.
Where's Henry? Where's Henry's super chat?
Because there were so many that came back to back.
Yeah, Henry, send over that super chat, broski. Send it over, and we'll go ahead and we'll touch on it. Though.
It's right here. It says, which MMA fighter do you 3 think would do extremely well in boxing right now? I would love to hear from the 3 of you guys. From an MMA fighter that does well in boxing. Man, that's
I don't know.
And how long of a fight?
Could you say probably maybe no way McGregor. I can't see McGregor, even though he went in there with Floyd. Could you possibly maybe say what's his name? Corey. No, not Corey.
Oh, Garbrandt? No, I don't think Garbrandt.
No, not him. What about the guy that just was caught on PEDS about a year ago? Now he's making that comeback. He was suspended also.
See, hold on. I don't know about the O'Shake Foster situation. I'm gonna read up on it, bull, but I don't, I don't know about it. So I'll see what happens. But I'm surprised.
Please look it up. I'm just saying, just look it up. We're acting like these guys are infallible.
I want to answer Henry's question. I would say Usman. I would say Usman's kind of a little bit up there. I would say Usman, maybe a little bit Khabib. I really can't say who would be the best.
I'll tell you who. Nick and Nate Diaz.
Okay. But the slaps Stockton.
Yeah. Max Holloway. I can see BJ Penn. I think BJ Penn in his prime would have done so.
Based on the size, bro. Based on big for big, you know who would do well in boxing? John Jones, homie. John Jones as a heavyweight would mix up some of these cats, especially the mid-tier guys.
I don't know, man, because I've seen like him work the pad work, I don't know.
He's too slow. To me,
Yeah.
he's too
I'm
slow.
just saying, look at the
But I
heavyweight
would say
division.
Usman, the Diaz brothers. Good thing you brought up the other guy. Those three that we said, I think those will be the ones that the best one. I will only say Usman because I've
I
seen
like
him.
the Diaz brother ones.
Yeah, the Diaz brothers, but I see Usman. What we saw in the previous fight versus Jorge Masvidal, how he just faked with the jab and came with a straight right. That's a boxing move all day. I'm sorry, fake the jab and come in with the right. That's what Fury did against Wilder. You seen that? Fake with the jab, throw it in there, boom, catch him flush. Tony Ferguson? No, I don't know about Tony Ferguson.
No, I don't know about Tony. No.
Tony Ferguson, no.
And he posted some weird thing that like he's hinting towards retirement too.
Well, he upped the money for.
No, that's actually a good point, Mr. West. Is Francis Ngannou? Yeah, I could see Francis doing well in boxing.
Yeah, I can see him do better than John Jones.
Yeah.
I can see him. Or is he?
He's a big puncher, dude. He's a big puncher.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's pretty quick and he's pretty crisp with his punches.
I can take it.
Yeah.
But see, one thing that they all lack when they come into boxing is that they're used to hitting back, and just they don't have that defensive tactic like all the boxers do, in my personal opinion. This is why the MMA fighters, I don't know, that's just me. I feel like they're just too prone to getting hit because they're going to get a shin, a kick in the head, an elbow, so they're ready for everything. That's just, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion.
If you could travel back in time and get a ringside seat at any classic fight, why would you fight? What fight would you choose if you could travel back in time? That's an interesting question. I would say either two fights. You said Holyfield Bowe, Yair.
Fernando Vargas versus Oscar De La Hoya.
Me would have been Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo.
Ooh,
absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Chico.
Okay. Bull, again, thank you for the other super chat. Sheikh Foster was the wrong party. Just to make that clear, Foster's trainer caught the gloves. Ironically, Jack Reese was the ref for the night. He said, this is the first I've heard of this, so I don't know. I got to read into it more and see what it was all about.
No, it's a real thing. Like the thing is that it seems like they tried to line this youngster up to get beat. There's some foulness going on with gloves in this game to try to even the playing field. Let's not act like it's not real. It is.
Who did he fight?
He fought a Hispanic guy. I don't know the dude's name, but they jacklegged him over the situation, no doubt.
Let's see here. Let's see. I'm gonna look it up. Lou DiBella sues contender Sheikh Foster, citing breach of contract. Sheikh Foster believes he'll eventually get top guys in the ring. Oh, he fought Miguel Roman. Okay. Floors Miguel Roman twice, stops him inside 9. Let me see here. Let me click on this. In the meantime, guys, go ahead and read some comments while I read on this.
No doubt. Yeah. You know what, man?
You want to go first, Marcus?
No, you can, bro. Go.
Okay. I would like to be ringside for Paul Williams versus Kermit Cintron. Jacques Foster is good for boxer skills. Wilder Fury 1, Wilder Fury 2 is superior boxer with a weight advantage. How many times has Wilder cheated? That's why he KOs everyone. Okay, that one. Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, you don't have to read every single one. It's screen the dumb ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so I read it here. Jake Donovan wrote a piece on that, and they don't go super into what happened after, but says the main event was marred in controversy in the 24 hours leading up to the fight night. Bobby Benton, Foster's longtime trainer, discovered the lack of padding and the selected gloves Roman planned to don for the bout. The matter was immediately brought to the attention of the California State Athletic Commission, who confiscated both the tainted gloves and Roman's backup set, instead issuing the Mexican slugger a new pair. Okay, so the commission did their job. They found the gloves. They didn't allow for them to use those gloves. So that's the whole point of why there's commissioners there in the dressing room. And
I think they're passing credit on to the commission because the trainer was the one who caught it.
Yeah, but that's the trainer's job too. That's why there's a trainer.
What's the commission's job then? The commission's supposed to give the gloves to the trainer. Am I right? Or does he pick them up out of a random bag himself?
No.
Who hands him the gloves?
I believe the fighters bring their gloves. There's a big table and there's glove set A, glove set B for opponent A, and then glove set A, glove set B for opponent B. They bring them forth, and everybody's there. The team's there. Everybody's there. So, say me and you were fighting, Marcus. I had my gloves. You had your gloves. So, this is not always the case, but this is sometimes happens. You'll try on my gloves, and I'll try on your gloves to see how they feel, and then I could be like, you know what, I don't like his gloves. And you'll be like, why not? They're approved gloves by the commission. They're on the list of approved gloves. And I could be like, nah, they feel too thin, And then that's when you go to glove B. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't like your glove B set either, And that's how it can be. But that's how it is. They're supposed to be sealed or whatever with that. But according to what Jake wrote here, the trainer discovered the lack of padding in the selected gloves Roman planned for the bout. The matter was immediately brought to the attention of the California State Athletic Commission, who confiscated both the tainted gloves and Roman's backup set instead
both
issuing
the gloves.
Yeah, both the tainted gloves,
right?
And Roman's backup set instead issuing the Mexican Slugger a new pair.
No doubt.
I want to see which gloves they were. First off, but also that shows you though the things in place. The commission caught it.
And then let's just go back to Fury real quick, bro. There's a lot of just controversy with the people that Fury's surrounding himself with, man. It just kind of
look at this. Hold on. Foster's manager found the gloves. It was approved gloves, and it was an argument by the manager of Foster who forced it. It wasn't done easy. So that seems more like a situation like when Floyd in Maidana, where they didn't like the MX gloves because the MX gloves are seen as like
power.
Their version of the Clayton gloves, like they're
right.
thinner. They're still more legal padding because they still weigh 8 ounces, but the padding is distributed differently.
What does Flow Logic say? Ask Marcus who he had in the Luis Ortiz Wilder 1 fight, and is that the reason why he lost versus Fury? Put that up there. Ask Marcus who he had in the Luis Ortiz Wilder 1 fight. And that's the reason why he lost versus Fury. I definitely
I don't really get that question.
Yeah. Who he had in the Luis Ortiz Wilder fight?
Like, who he thought was winning the fight?
Who was winning? Because
who I thought was winning that fight, I guess.
He was winning some of those rounds until he caught. It was close. Yeah.
The first one.
It was close. Wilder was getting connected on versus Ortiz. No question. He was giving up shots. He was giving up shots versus Ortiz. I think that he was rallying against Wilder during the first fight until he got caught and stopped. And look. He was giving up punches, and he makes a good point. He was giving up shots versus Fury. And I can see, look, I watched the fight like everyone else. Marcos, we covered the fight. We were in the building. I thought that he was getting peppered up. But
No, he's talking about the Ortiz fight, Wilder Ortiz.
No, I'm going back to Fury versus Wilder because he says that's the reason that he lost. And the reason that he lost is because, he was giving up shots. But the problem is that there's too much controversy surrounding it. Let's run it back. It already was contractually supposed to be done. Let's get it done.
Let's see here.
AJ and Fury probably is a bigger fight at the moment, but business is business.
Yep.
Why are we not forcing universal gloves and ring size? Well, no. Ring size I agree with. There should be. I'm surprised there isn't like a standard because you see at the other sports, like how long is a football field? It's like football fields aren't different, How long is a
long,
right?
10
how long is a baseball
yards wide?
A baseball diamond, like they don't ever like, nah, you know what? We want the football field to be, 10 yards longer because we have better runners, I totally agree with that. In terms of the gloves. Well, the thing is, they have to be a weight, but obviously, like there's different glove makers. I don't know how that would work. I guess they could. The commission could be like, we're only using these gloves, but you get a lot of other people freaking pissed off, like a lot of glove makers. That's like with football. If they just like, we're just gonna go with Nike cleats. No one else. We can't use Adidas. You can't use Reebok, anything else. So I don't know how well that would work in terms of the gloves, but the ring size, I do go ahead and
they should be wearing the same gloves, man. I think in this next fight they should wear the same gloves. Let's just shut everything up. Wear the same gloves.
It comes with the sponsor too. That's why fighters are sponsored by different gloves.
Yeah, that's right. They are by different gloves.
I ain't never seen anybody else wear Path in Sports.
Yeah, the German fighters.
Maybe one. Maybe okay. That's great. This is the
Klitschko's would wear Path in Sport. Christina Hammer wears Path in Sport. Arthur Abraham.
Those are after him, though. I know that you say Klitschko wore Path in Sport,
but Arthur Abraham would wear those gloves. Like it's a German brand.
Well, you know what? He should not wear Path in Sport in the third fight. Let's just cancel it. Wear Reyes. Period. Wear Reyes. We trust Reyes gloves. Just wear Reyes. Period.
There you go.
No problem. Seriously.
And we ended with that note.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. This is Fight Up TV live chat. We're here every Monday, 5:35. Next week, we will be discussing the aftermath of the undisputed fight between Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez. It happens this weekend, May 22nd on ESPN. And also, we're going to preview the fight between Jorge Linares and Devin Haney that happens on May, just to be exact, May 29th. Linares versus Devin Haney.
Good fight, man.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. One last round of likes for everybody here. Follow us on social media at Fight Up TV, and also subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, guys. Have a great rest of your Monday. Peace out.